All right, let's dive into a story from history that might just change how you think about health. It's a fascinating tale about a remote island, a diet that's almost shockingly simple, and a discovery that's still making waves today. Let's get right into it. So, what is the secret to perfect dental health? Is it all the brushing, the flossing, the constant warnings about sugar we've heard our whole lives? Well, the answer might actually be a whole lot simpler than we've been led to believe, and it was found almost a century ago. And that is exactly what one pioneering researcher found. He traveled to this remote, windswept island off the coast of Scotland and discovered an entire population with teeth that were, well, nearly perfect. We're talking almost zero tooth decay. And this wasn't just a few lucky people, it was the whole community. So, where does this incredible story even come from? Well, let's take a look at the original explorer's record. The man who found all this was Dr. Weston A. Price. And he wasn't an anthropologist or historian. He was a dentist from Cleveland. Back in the 1930s, he packed his bags and went on this amazing journey around the world to figure out what true human health was really built on. Just read that sentence for a second. It's from his work, and it pretty much captures the entire paradox. He saw with his own eyes that the people living in the Hebrides ate mostly oats and seafood. And the result? Practically no tooth decay and really strong, healthy skeletons. It's just such a clear, powerful link between diet and health. Dr. Price published his findings in this incredible book, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. It was absolutely groundbreaking. See, his whole method was to go find these isolated groups of people who hadn't been exposed to modern processed foods yet, things like white flour, sugar, canned goods, and just observe the connection between what they ate and how healthy they were. Okay, so what exactly were these islanders eating? The place he studied was the Outer Hebrides, this really rugged and isolated chain of islands. Life there was not easy, so people ate what they could get from the land and from the sea. And here's the crucial part. Their isolation was like a shield, protecting them from all the processed foods that were already becoming common on the mainland. You'd think a diet that could create such amazing health would have to be super complicated, right? Maybe some kind of scientific formula or a huge list of exotic superfoods. The reality, though, was just shockingly simple. That was it. Seriously, the foundation of their entire diet pretty much came down to two things. First, you had oats, that was their staple, their fuel. And second, you had seafood. And we're not just talking about fish fillets, we're talking the whole shebang, shellfish, and even really nutrient-dense stuff like cod's heads stuffed with oats and fish liver. It was an astonishingly simple way of eating. So we know what they ate. But what did this diet actually do to people's bodies? What was the result? I mean, the connection here is just undeniable. You have this simple nutritional input, oats and seafood, and it leads to this incredibly powerful physical output. Dr. Price documented it all. This combination gave them this amazing resistance to cavities and helped them build strong, healthy skeletons from the ground up. And these two findings are just remarkable. It wasn't just that they didn't have cavities. Dr. Price also pointed out that their dental arches, their jaws, were wide and perfectly formed. No crooked teeth, no need for braces. And that pointed to something bigger. Their entire skeletal structure was robust and well-developed. This was about total body health, and it all started with their food. So when you boil this whole incredible story down, what's the one big takeaway here? The entire story really comes down to this one idea. These people achieved a level of physical health that's almost hard for us to imagine today. And they did it with a diet of profound simplicity. It wasn't about having a huge variety or complicated meals. It was all about the nutrient density of the foods that were available to them. And that brings us to a final and I think really important question. Today, we have an abundance of food choices that the Hebridean Islanders could never have dreamed of. And yet, chronic disease and dental problems are rampant. The story of the Hebrides forces us to ask, in gaining this whole world of choice, what essential wisdom about food and health have we somehow lost along the way?